What's going on, guys? National Master James Canty III here. Today, video 7, Tournament Guidebook, one-liners, axioms, and mantras. Let's get into it. Today is knight f5. So for all you guys out there that don't know what knight f5 is, well, of course, if you saw the thumbnail, it's about a knight going to f5. Now, of course, where did this come from? This comes from the man himself, Mr. Ben Feingold. Big Ben, big shout out to him. Of course, it's a theme and something he created at his own YouTube channel and on Twitch, and everybody knows Ben. And knight f5. He actually has an emote on Twitch about this. So make sure this is something he created. So make sure y'all go follow him and watch. I'll actually leave a link to his stream under the video so y'all can check out Big Ben. But Ben Feingold made this knight f5 thing, and everybody talks about it in all the streams. So of course we had to go with knight f5 here, especially you're gonna see this in the book when the book drops as well. So obvious, honestly, why to move here? Let's look and see what's going on. Now there's a bishop attacked right now. It is white to move. We have an open rook file, materials, I think even right. Let's see, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 versus how many pawns? 1 2 3 4 5 6 and 7. Always keep material count. That's number 1. So we need to see what's going on. Okay, now how about pieces? It looks like it's roughly the same. 1 2 3 4 5 6 versus 1 2 3 4 5 and 6. Cool. So that's done. How about like positioning? King safety is about the same. White's king might be a little bit weaker, especially on this diagonal, but it can't be like exploited. You can't get a check there. So you're good to go, to be honest. With that being said, of course, we know what the first move is. Or at least I hope you know what the first move is. In fact, let's just see if you're on your P's and Q's today, or if you're even paying attention to anything. If you're not, that's totally okay. That's why we're here today. So knight f5 or knight f5, right? Maybe that's the first move. Maybe it's not. Maybe you have another move. But what is the move here? Raise your hand, class. Very simple here. We already know what the first move is. Knight f5, and we live. Now, why is this significant, and why is this like, whoa, you know, knight f5? Well, why is your piece is hanging, my guy. You don't have an immediate checkmate. So, you know, it takes at least 2 moves to get over here, and even that can be parried by maybe king h8 and rook g8. So you got to be very, very careful here. Knight f5, and we live. So what does Black say? Black says, you know what, we're about to take this. B takes c4 for the score. You're going to have to show me, big fella. And then bishop takes h6. We in the mix. Very, very easy. We just going to snap this pawn off, and it's about to get crazy. So we're sacrificing a second piece. The first one was the light square bishop. This is now the dark square bishop. Just said, go for it. Well, Black obliges and just says, you know what? Hey, we going this far? And I'm not gonna let you take on g7 and just let everything go crazy here. So they take on h6. Now, how do you finish this attack? As white here, you sacrifice 2 pieces, my guy. 2 pieces. And what did you get for it so far? What, a pawn? 1 pawn? Yeah. So with that being said, it's white to move here. And what do you do in this position? Figure it out. Here it is, guys. Here it is. Knight takes h6, and we in the mix. King's got to go somewhere. You have g7, h7, and h8. In this game, king h7 was chosen. There is no queen h5, obvious reasons. The knight is hanging, so you have to retreat the knight. Knight to f5, as Emil does in this game. And after knight f5, well, Black should have played king h8, actually. This is the analysis part. King h8 should have been played here. But c takes d3 was actually played, allowing the queen to jump out here. Sometimes you just take that extra material, but that extra material will not help you here, especially in this position. Queen takes d3, king goes back to h8, and of course, if we check, he has knight h7, so that's the intention here. Using the knight to block, we probably want to consolidate with moving the rook out, try to get the queen active. But right now, Black is actually down, I guess, 2 pieces here, even though white is technically down 2 pieces for a pawn, for sacrificing a light square bishop, then sacrifice the dark square bishop. And, you know, we're trying to go for mate here, but Black actually, the pieces that he's up are on the other side of the board. So king h8, and then after king h8, rook a to e1, and he's done. And he's done. How? Well, we're going to see. It's going to take a few moves here. Rook A to E1 hit the bishop because it's hanging. It's literally hanging. So Rook A to E1, he plays Queen to B6 because there was really not much else to do. In fact, if Rook E8, which is a very natural move, defend the piece that's hanging. Well, you actually have a very strong move here for white. See if you can find it. Take a few seconds. Pause the video if you need to. White's a move in this position. And, of course, this was not the game move. In fact, the game move was something different, completely different, but this was the alternative. If Rook E8 happens, what does white do? Okay, after Rook E8 is Queen to C3. That's for me. We hit an A5, we hit in C3 or F6, and then E7 is hanging now. So there's a lot going on. If you do anything, I'm going to take on E7, take on F6, we end the mix. GG. Right, very easy. So Rook E8 did not happen. In fact, it was Queen to B6 and just says, you know what? I'm going to give you this bishop. But at this point, this is definitely decisive. Now, we have to figure out the sequence still, because even though it looks decisive without accuracy, it won't be decisive. So you got to be very, very careful, and you have to calculate properly. After Queen to B6 with a discover check on the queen coming, well, Queen H3, that's for me. We get out the way. Have a nice day. Hitting the king on H8 with check. Knight H7 as we block, and now it's time to take one of our pieces back. We're still down a piece here as white, so we're working. Rook takes E7. There is a C4 check. King H1 stepping out the way, and black just says, "Hey, I don't know what to do. You know, this is getting scary, but I don't think you have anything, so I'm going to take on B2. Queen takes B2. White now needs to finish this attack. By doing so, you need to attack the weak points of the king with multiple pieces. So it takes multiple pieces, or I tell students, right, it takes 3 pieces or more for a successful attack. We usually, right now, we got kind of like 2, maybe a third. So it doesn't work yet. But Rook E4 is a reroute going for Rook H4. So Rook G8 happens, and after Rook G8, we do have a Rook H4 move that can happen. He locks his king in, but you know, I tell my students this all the time. Always look for the most forcing moves first. And maybe look at all the possibilities, all your checks and captures that you might have in the position if it's possible. And always look to, you know, annoy your opponent. With that being said, is white to move here. What are you going to do? White to move. I want you to look hard. I want you to analyze, calculate, really pause the video here and take like 2 minutes. Take like a full 2 minutes to calculate here. I'm talking about 2 minutes of calculating from this position right here. It's white to move. What are you going to do? So when you return to the video, hopefully you paused it, check this thing out. Now, there's one thing I'm going to mention before we show this move. Knight F5, a knight on F5 wins there's a saying out. And it says that a knight on F4 or a knight on F5 wins games. Now, why do they say it in that manner? A knight on F5 is first off in enemy territory. Anything 5 to 8 is all of blacks. And we have a knight here that is not black's piece. He's in our territory. Vice versa, there's a black queen down here and all in our territory on the second rank. And we don't feel good about this, but you know, it is what it is. Like the queen's down here. But we want to get rid of it as much as possible. And even this knight on F5, which is really strong, it hits the squares around the king. It also defends mine. But vice versa, if this knight happened to be on F4, it would be the same thing. So they always say a knight on F5 or a knight on F4 will win games a lot of times because of the range of attacking and defense that it does from that said rank, from that said color. So the knight on F5 is extremely strong here. In this case, the knight F5. Shout out to Big Ben again, right? But in this case, guys, here it is. I hope you're ready for it. You ready? Here it goes. Here it goes. Queen takes H7. Oh my goodness, that's a big boy move from a big fella. Wow. Queen sackage is very real. And after queen takes H7, king takes, well, you got to follow up or else this is just embarrassing. The Rook H4 check, king G6. Okay, always check, it might be mate. You got knight E7, you have this check. Okay, flex real hard, hit him with Rook H6. He goes king G5, says we getting live, but it ain't gonna be fun. It's not a party for black. H4 for the score, shut it down. And then king G4 and knight E3, knight E3 check. Hit the king. King has no squares. In fact, this is actually a famous tactic that I've actually learned. Shout out to some of my students too that actually have seen this tactic in a certain book that we study. That this puzzle is in there. So I'm sure you probably, you know, especially a lot of my students have been through this book many times. I know that you have seen this puzzle. Knight e3 check, king to g3, and rook f3. Mate! Oh my goodness! Look at the queen sackage. And he followed that boy all the way down. Check, 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 check. Checkmate. And we great. Start a new one. Rook f3. Wow. And then from the beginning, guys, this is how it started. Knight f5. Now, it's really knight f5, guys. For beginners out there and people that actually don't actually know, it is knight f5. Ben Feingold made it popular saying knight f5. So a knight f5 and it takes on c4. Bishop takes h6. G takes. Knight takes. King h7. Knight f5. Once again, just blowing things up. C takes d3. Queen takes. Very nice again. Keeping the pin for the win. King h8 and we great. Rook a to e1. Says you're done. I'm gonna hit e7 here. Queen b6 and I go queen h3 check, avoiding any discoveries. Knight h7. Rook e7. c4, get out the way, have a nice day. Queen takes b2, and this is where it started. Rook e4 was the star move. Absolute star move. And after rook e4, rook g8, here it goes. Bam! Whoa! Was not expecting that one. Hit him. Flex real hard. Rook h4, king g6, rook h6, king g5, h4, king g4, knight e3. King g3 and rook f3 mate. That was beautiful. You can see the names of the game, the names of who played the game right here. So in the video, you can see it right there. I'm actually going to leave a link to this game too as well. You guys can check out the entire game if you would like to. And yeah, I appreciate you guys watching so much. Thank you so much for watching another one of the video series. We got 100 to do and we on number 7. So stick around. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Share this video, like this video, put comments under it. I appreciate you guys. Love you guys. And I'll see you on the next video.